So don't go anywhere, guys. We've gone through all our A races for the evening. We've got the women's B on track now, and after that is the men's B. As we were saying earlier, some great names in this women's B lining up now, which we'll go through in a second. So there's going to be some pretty hot times coming up. But also in the men's B, we have Jared Clifford going for a world classification record, T12, T13 record, 13:53 if you don't mind, for Jared Clifford. That's the time he'll be chasing. Along with the calibre of athletes who, would be the A race in any other week, any other meet here at Box Hill. So a couple of awesome races. Have another shot of espresso, stay up for another 40 minutes or so, get through the end of the meet. It'll be well worth your time.
Steve's daughter just broke my heart. I remember this, Brooklyn. So the media street down here, I mean, we've got Channel 7, we've got Nick Wall, we got us, this is just like the footy. And so we do have our ladies B 5,000, and I was very distracted just then. Did you just call out the field? Beautiful. So with hip number 1, we got Gemma Maney of Frankston. Number 2, Edie Bell of South Melbourne. Number 3, Melanie Townsend of Frankston. Number 4, Sarah Klein of Frankston. Number 5, Steph Condongonis of Kilos and Bernards. Number 6, Nicolette Lesberg of Mentone. Number 7, Meg Stevenson of Essendon. Number 8, Alice Burgeon of Box Hill. Number 9, Tess Rhodes of Deakin. Number 10, Simone McInnes of St Stephen's Harriers. Number 11, Kate Mason of Frankston. Number 12, Sophie Westcott, Box Hill. Number 13, Shania Murray of Diamond Valley. Number 14, Stella Radford. So here she is, Melbourne University. Number 15, Stephanie Thomas of Western A's. And number 16 and 17, Melissa Duncan and Charlotte Wilson will be pacemaking. So it may just be Charlotte Wilson, I think, doing the pacing. Having a look at the screen in front of us right now.
Can you just flick that little button that you've got in front of you, Mitch? And we're going to give the people what they want. We're going to get Isaac to commentate a bit of this race. Welcome back to the commentary box, Isaac.
Do you know William McAlladon and James Chansbury?
I've seen the names before, so
fans of the YouTube channel.
Guy Frick really wants Isaac.
I've raced Guy Frick, so I know him.
Well, Guy Frick, you have asked and we have listened.
Yeah, we're all about giving the people what they want.
James Chansbury's stoked. Wow. Yes, I'm starting to think we're not doing such a good job, man.
Yeah. Is Isaac part of the Olympic commentary package? So 16 and a half minutes. A lot of these women have as their seed times. Stella Radford, 16 and a half minutes. Gemma Maney, 16 and a half minutes. Sarah Klein, 16:22. So these will be a few of the athletes towards the front of the field.
And so they are off, and I've said it nearly every race except for the A's because obviously they were seeded for time, but it does take probably a lap to sort this sort of stuff out. Even you heard, obviously, Lyndon Hall say earlier, it took a little bit of time through the first 200 to figure it out. Over this, it's probably the first 400. So Stella Radford's going to try and get to the outside of Charlotte Wilson, I believe. Gemma Maney on the inside there. So let's just let them sort this out through the 400. Now, we are fortunate that we do have Izzy Bat-Doyle not far away, our winner of the women's 5,000, just shy of that Olympic qualifying time. Gemma Maney going to sit in nicely there. And Sarah Klein behind. So those two ladies are very class competitors in this field. And look, we do have Isaac's microphone on, so he's free to talk at any time. Not Isaac Hayne. I think he thought I was talking to him for a second there. He's welcome, though.
Yeah, this race is a bit more strung out than some of the other races we've seen, some of the other graded races we've seen tonight. We've got kind of two packs already formed within the first 400 metres of this race, so we could see two separate races going on here.
Yeah, I think you're right, Isaac. I think it's going to be split, and I don't think there's going to be a bridging of the gap between what's going on at the moment. These two may just separate into, as you mentioned, almost two different races. We can see a little bit of a breakaway from that pack. So I think that's Steph Condon-Gonis in the middle there. Stella Radford, a really, really good athlete. Obviously went to UNC, went to World Juniors, has come back, and she's been steadily competing in the steeplechase, the roads, and everything alike. So she's a class athlete. It is Steph Condon-Gonis, and they've drawn them back. So Alice Burgeon draws them back. And I might have got that last name wrong. I did not. Alice Burgeon. If you're watching, g'day, Chad. So right now it is going to be Charlotte Wilson leading out. Maney on the inside there is Klein. So too is Radford. Then back from there we have Meg Stevenson. And I couldn't quite see our final Frankston athlete on the back of that front pack. So these ladies moving really well. Condon-Gonis is going to be just sitting on the outside of this second chase pack. And you're right, Isaac, you called it earlier. This is why we need you on the mic more. They've separated.
Yeah, so the two packs have already formed, and we might even get another pack forming in the middle of both, because the three leaders look like they want the pace to be a bit quicker. Oh, actually, one of them is the pacer. So the pacer's just going to keep the foot on the accelerator as they go through 800 in about 2:36. Pacer hits the watch, and now the second pack, the second main pack's going to come through, tick over the 240 mark, about 243, 44, 45 for the back there. So they're moving along nicely.
Yeah, they are. They're moving along really comfortably, actually. The only pack that seems to be breaking up is this front one. So Charlotte Wilson, I think she's maintained the pace. I don't think she's put her foot down or anything's changed too much from her end, but I think these ladies are maybe starting to feel it a little bit as we see moving around the outside there. I believe that is Melanie Townsend from Frankston. So she was our athlete at the back of that pack, and now she moves through. So it is still going to be Charlotte Wilson leading it out from Gemma Maney, Sarah Klein on the inside, Radford, and then so too Melanie Townsend. On the back of that is Meg Stevenson. So Condon-Gonis gets to the front of this now. So she's going to lead it out just from Kate Mason and Alice Burgeon behind her there. So too Edie Bell, and I apologise if I've got your name wrong. I'm terrible with names, as you all have probably known over the last year. But this front pack of 6 is now turning into a front pack of 5. So we're going to have to wait and see. It looks like Melanie Townsend's done a really good job to just latch back onto that pack and be able to pull these girls through. Charlotte Wilson doing a really good job. Obviously, Klein right on her shoulder. So when Charlotte's ready to drop out, Klein's ready to take it up. We saw a lot of that earlier, obviously, with the really good dynamic of Jen Gregson and Ros Davies there for a while. And so it'll be really interesting to see whether or not Charlotte Wilson lets Gemma Maney move around if she wants to get going and keeps on pacing. So it looks like Maney just more than content to just sit on the shoulder. Radford there in the middle of that pack, and at the back is still Melanie Townsend. And so we see Meg Stevenson lose a little bit of contact, and get stuck in no ladies land. I don't know what contract she has, but unfortunately she's lost it. But now we have a pack of 6, realistically 5, because Charlotte Wilson is our pacemaker. So I reckon, Isaac, in this pack, watch out for Melanie Townsend at the back. Now, I know Sarah Klein is a phenomenal racer, and so too is Gemma Maney and Stella Radford, but I just think Townsend is looking pretty comfortable at the back. But as I say that, she might have to get moving around Stella Radford soon.
Yeah, being in the back of that front pack isn't too bad of a position at the moment. There's still a lot of time left in this 5K. They're long races, so there's plenty of time to make moves. You don't want to be feeling the pinch now, so it's good to just be sitting at the back, not doing any work, just getting a lot of protection from any wind, even if it's not much, because you just want to be saving as much energy as you can for when you need a big kick in the last K.
Yeah, I reckon. I'd be interested to see what the kick's going to be like. I can't see it being out of this world because they're keeping a pretty good pace, but I reckon it is going to ramp up. So Gemma Maney is the one who's really pushing it along. So if Charlotte Wilson even had a second of a thought of to slow it down, I think Gemma Maney would have a few words for her. So Charlotte Wilson done a phenomenal job in leading it out on the rail. Gemma Maney incredibly comfortable on the shoulder there, and on the inside is Klein. Radford right there too, looking good. So too Townsend. So, geez, all these ladies have their claim to stake this or win this race, I would say. So Charlotte Wilson looks good. She might as well just keep going. I don't know how long she's meant to go for, but I hope she keeps going for a while longer because she's doing a sensational job.
But Stevenson in hip number 7 is in no man's land at the moment. She's between the two packs, so for her sake, hopefully that next pack can catch up to her and she can just sit in with them or she can maybe bridge the gap and pick off any stragglers from the first pack.
Yeah, so Bell, she's going to lead that next one up to Stevenson, I think. And I just got very confused by a bloke running on the back straight. I thought someone's making an unbelievable kick, but it was just our pacemaker for the next race. So all good. He's sharp and tuned, ready to go. So we have 6 ladies, realistically 5. As I mentioned, Charlotte Wilson still doing a phenomenal job pacemaking. Klein right behind her there. And in front of Klein is still Gemma Maney. So Radford losing maybe a metre or 2, but I think she's probably had that distance for a little while now. So Bell still leading out Condigonis in the pack behind, but it's Charlotte Wilson leading them through. They have 7 laps to go, I believe, as they come through the start-finish line right now. And I reckon this group's going to stay together a few more laps, and then I reckon some moves might be made. The one who might make them, I think, is going to be Sarah Klein, tucked in nicely on the rail eyes. Actually, doesn't have to do much, as you mentioned. And I reckon they've just got to hang strong for a few laps. So when Charlotte Wilson does step out, they're ready to go.
Yeah, Sarah Klein's in a good spot at the moment. She's got the sit right on the inside there. Doesn't have to make any moves. She can just sit behind the pacer and the leader and copy whatever they do. So she's in a good spot at the moment, and that pack hasn't broken up yet. There's been times where it looks like they're about to split up, but they've stayed together, which is very good at the moment.
Yeah, so Condigonis now gets to the front of this chase pack, and they're probably going to swallow up Stevens, I think. So Stevenson might have to just latch into this pack now as they start to move along. But at the front of the field, it is still all Charlotte Wilson. She's going to lead it out from Gemma Maney, Sarah Klein behind her, Radford too, and Townsend. So, geez, there's not a lot of change going on at the front. And I reckon that gap to Stella Radford has been the same for 3, 4, 5 laps even. So I wouldn't draw too much concern over why there is a little bit of spacing between these. But right now, Charlotte Wilson looks good. Maney on the outside. Klein, I honestly can't give you too many more details because those details haven't changed for about 1.5 kilometres. So that just means it's great quality racing from some really talented ladies.
Yeah, it's very consistent running. Radford has had a gap to Klein the whole way. There's been about a metre between them, but I don't think we can worry about that. I think she's just not too keen to be right up on the spikes there. So she's keeping a 1 metre gap, and it's remained that way for the whole race. So there's no changes up front, and it doesn't seem to be too many changes in that chase pack. There's starting to be a bit of a gap forming there. Stevenson has been swallowed up by them, and she's just going to sit in with them, which isn't a bad thing for her.
No, not at all. As I mentioned earlier, it's hard when you get past, and now she's able to latch in and just stick on the back right there. So these ladies literally have not moved at the front. It is, I know I've talked about the metronome across the spectrum of the night, but right now, Charlotte Wilson, genuine metronome, stops the... No, I thought she was stopping there, but she's going to keep on going. She's the gift that keeps on giving right now, Charlotte Wilson. So Wilson leading out from Maney, still behind Klein, and Klein, I reckon... no, she's latched it back on. So Stella Radford right behind her there. And Townsend, as I mentioned earlier, I reckon watch out for her a little bit late because she has had the benefit of sitting at the back. Obviously, Stella Radford's had a bit of space. Her pattern hasn't been checked whatsoever, and now we see it. So Charlotte Wilson moves to the outside. A sensational effort pacing right there. And Sarah Klein recognises that, I believe. And right now, Maney. So she might be able to test him out. I reckon right now, if you want to be tough, now's the time to be tough. So you're going to try and put the squeeze on your competitors now. This is a mind game at the moment, and right now, Gemma Maney is winning it. So Gemma Maney, she's leading it out there from Sarah Klein on the inside. Behind them there, Stella Radford and Townsend still not far away, Isaac.
Yeah, so it's the bookends of that front pack that are looking pretty comfortable. It's Klein and Townsend that are looking the smoothest. The rest of them, the other two, are just looking like they're showing a bit of pain at the moment, starting to struggle. They are on a very solid pace at the moment, and they have a huge gap on the second pack. It's out to about 150 metres at the moment, so they've got plenty of space. I think the top 4 will be set in concrete until the end of this race. 10 minutes 33 is probably about 6 minutes left of running.
Yeah.
So if they can get under the 16:40 mark, that would be huge.
Yeah, they are cooking, and everybody watching Channel 7 News soon, you'll be watching MTC athletes on your camera, which is fantastic. Great coverage for athletics, but I'm a little bit scared to watch Jack Rayner scream at me through my TV, so I probably won't be watching that. But right now, we see these top 4 athletes right now, and there is a little bit of chop and change coming. As I mentioned earlier, I reckon Mel Townsend might be able to cover a move, but right now, it's Sarah Klein who gets to the front of this women's B 5000. So Klein in front of Maney. Then it's still Radford. She's hung hung really tough. I don't think I've given enough credit to Stella Radford right now. She's hung incredibly tough and comfortable there in third, and Townsend's still on the back. So the only move that we've had right now is actually Sarah Klein going around Maney. Maney tucked in nicely on the back. As I said, you pick a point and you got to follow it. So right now, all these ladies just finding the groove. And right now, it is looking incredibly smooth at that. As we see this next pack, it's broken up here, Isaac. So we're going to see Charlotte Wilson. She is now pacing this second pack. I'm not sure if she stepped off the track or not, but whatever she's done, she's gone Steph Condigonis, and so too behind her there, Simone McInnes. Jump on board and let's keep this train rolling. So it's full steam ahead at this second pack, which has been blown wide open at the hands of Charlotte Wilson and Steph Condigonis at the front now. Klein puts that first bit of separation into this field. We start to see a break-up now, and Sarah Klein, she's got a few metres, but watch out. Stella Radford, I reckon, going to cover it. So it is Klein. Maney has a look around the shoulder and just says, who's the one coming around? And it is Stella Radford. So right now, Klein, she's putting a bit of a gap in the rest of this field. So she's bided her time. She's waited nicely. She sat on the rail, and now she's going to move. So she's coming down here now, I believe, with 800 metres to go. So three laps to go. 3 laps to go, so 1,200 metres to go. So excited, I can't believe it. So right now it is still going to be Klein. She's separated away a little bit. She's got about 10, 15 metres there. Stella Radford now moves into second. Maney behind her, and Townsend not far away. So Isaac, this race certainly isn't over, but Klein's going to make it really difficult for them.
Yeah, Townsend in fourth there's going to have to start to get a wriggle on if she wants to stay in contact with second and third. It's going to be hard to close fast if she's on her own. We saw with Stewie that he struggled to close fast when he was on his own in the last 2K. So Townsend's going to have to try and get on the back of someone here if she wants to finish fast. But at the front, it's old Klein who's starting to pull away, and if she can just slowly pick it up, run it as a bit of a progression at the last 800, we could see a big time from her and a big finish, as she's got about 950 metres to go.
Yeah, well, I reckon watch out for Gemma Maney. She might be able to push along Stella Radford. So Gemma Maney certainly looked like she was fatiguing a little bit through the mid stages of that race, but now she's found another win. So Gemma Maney on the outside has a quick and says, let's keep moving. So right now, it's still Klein at the front. And watch Mel Townsend. She's not far off that pack in front of her, but Klein right now, she's looking really good. It's going to take a lot to get her over this final 800, I reckon. And I reckon these ladies are pushing themselves as hard as they possibly can right now. A brilliant race by the four of them and everybody involved, but they have put about 180 odd metres, if not 200, on the rest of this field. So your eyes are automatically drawn to the front, and if you're looking at the front, you are going to be looking at Klein. So Sarah Klein, she's going to come up on the shoulder of Alice Burgeon, so she will be passing some of our other athletes in this field. So Sarah Klein, she's putting it away, and right now there is a move being made, and I think it's Stella Radford. So Stella Radford now, she's moving away from Gemma Maney, so maybe if the door was getting towards close, someone's just put their foot in it, and that foot belongs to Stella Radford. So right now it's Klein. She's still extending. She's about 40 metres ahead. She's got 550 metres to go, I believe, in this race right now for Sarah Klein in the B 5,000 metres. So Klein moving away from Radford, behind Maney and then Townsend. So there hasn't been a lot of separation, only bits and pieces. Radford able to get a little bit of distance from them, but right now it is a race for Klein. And Klein, 400 and something metres to go. Let's call it 404 to be honest. So 404 metres to go right now. 15:05 on the clock. So right now for Sarah Klein, she's a 16:22 runner. So she is staring down the barrel of a PB. So too are the rest of the ladies in this field, I believe. We have a 17:01 for Mel Townsend. So I would say she's probably going to get a PB. But as we look on the back straight right now, it is Klein, and she's pushing and she's moving. So she's had to do it on her own. As you mentioned, it's hard to find that speed, Isaac, when you're on your own. But Sarah Klein seems to be able to find it from a place others can't. Radford's still pushing away from the two ladies behind her. 200 metres to go. Has a look at the wrist, I thought, and she doesn't have a watch on. So right now, 15:42 for Sarah Klein. doesn't need a watch. All she needs to know is it's go time. So 170 metres. Sarah Klein has a look around. Charlotte Wilson still leading out Steph Condon-Gonis. And we see the lady in front there is Simone McInnes of St Stephen's. But as we turn our eyes to the top of the straight, once you do, you'll see Sarah Klein moving down the straight. She moves out into lane 3. She's in familiar territory right now, Sarah Klein. She's going to come down and take the win here in the Women's B 5000. Watch the clock. 16:13 on the mark there. And she will PB there. So she's got it by 3 seconds. Well done to Klein. Radford flying, and so too Townsend behind her. So Stella Radford, she's going to go pretty close, and she's just dipped under. Now Townsend comes through, and she runs a PB. So too is going to be Gemma Maney. She's just out of her PB. So the only one in that top group not to PB there, as we see Burgeon now get the bell. But sensational racing, as we mentioned. I said that she had a little bit in there. She sat in the pack. She sat comfortably. I thought it might have been Townsend, but Klein really made it a race of her own with about 1,200 metres to go. I think Isaac, and we see Charlotte Wilson here. She's done. So she stepped out just before the end. I reckon she's run 4.6 kilometres of that 5. So phenomenal work for pacemaking right there, I reckon. As we see now that comes down, Simone McInnes. Well done. That's certainly a PB, and I would love to see here what these ladies run through. And Steph Condon-Gonis just outside her PB. So the bulk of the field making their way through the finish line now. But this Women's B 5000 at the inaugural Box Hill Burn is always going to belong to Sarah Klein and her big PB. So we got one more race, I believe.
One more, the men's B, which on any other night, as we said a few times in this stream, it could very well be the men's A. High calibre field, including Tom Thorpe, who is the Victorian 5K champion.
Oh, that will.